So is it
You
working? Mm-hmm.
gotta, it, it's working.
Oh, good. All right, let me turn my microphone so I can actually be captured. There we go. Oh, that's good. That's good. So how was your holidays? How was Christmas? How
My whole,
was New Year's?
it was great. None of my fucking toxic family showed up this year, so me and Max just had like a small get together with our family. Our aunt and uncle invited like two of our aunts over,
No
and
shit.
our little brother, and that was pretty much it.
Shit. Nothing wrong with that. Well, what makes the family toxic though? Is it politics? Is it, fucking religion?
So funny enough, one of the two aunts that we did invite that is like different from a lot of the family politically was not really an issue at all. It's just, one of them likes to drink, and when they drink, they get uppity, and
Mm.
it's kind of just a thing where like my aunt and her sisters, like if you get all four of them in a room, it just turns into fucking chaos, and someone's somewhere along the line, someone's gonna get mad about something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just women, but
Oh god
no,
damn, it's fucking women.
no,
The family
no. It's
members
just
are all just women. They're all toxic. Oh.
no. It's just you get a bunch of people in the same room who have a history of overreacting. They're gonna start overreacting to fucking anything. So,
Yeah. No, I get you on that. And plus you
what
introduce
about
you
you? How
introduce a
was
little bit of alcohol, that amplifies it.
yeah. I
Especially
I was pretty sloshed on fucking Christmas. I usually don't drink, but after like I helped finish setting everything up and the ham was in the oven, I was like, okay, it is time to get drunk.
I usually don't drink, but when I do it excessively.
Yeah. Well, really, no. Like I I usually don't drink that much when I do drink because I don't. It's not that I don't like alcohol. I
you
just
got
feel like
a
most of the time I don't need it.
you got a low alcohol tolerance.
I
So
do, yeah. Which is
nothing
weird
wrong with
considering
that.
my size. But I will
Yeah.
say it is very financially convenient that it only takes about like 6 beers for me to get pretty tipsy.
Shit. Me fucking I could buy a 24 pack and I'll just have two and I'm good. I don't
Mm.
want no more. I don't need no more. It's just and that 24 pack man will last a while. And I'm talking bottles, not cans.
Mm.
But yeah, it'll last me, a month or two. And yeah, I mean, so I get it. I have a very low tolerance now. There was a time where I definitely did not, and it took quite a bit just to get that buzz going. So,
Yeah, but your championship days are over, huh?
well, I'm glad. I tell you what, because I'll be honest, I was full blown fucking alcoholic. I was drinking damn near every fucking day, if not every other day. And it didn't matter if I had work the next day. It didn't matter because it was just like I could still function. But
Mm.
my drinking buddy, he ended up moving, and I was just like, you know what? I need to change. I need to stop drinking so damn much because one,
Mm.
it's financially, it's financially burdensome, and two, fucking, what's the point? Who wants to sit
Mm-hmm.
at home alone, fucking knocking back 6, 7, 8 beers just to get a buzz to go to sleep? I mean, that's a
Yeah.
that's a pretty pathetic life. And yes, that was an attack on those people that fucking do that shit. Because it's like, what? Come on, do better. So yeah, I stopped drinking for I want to say like 3, 4 years. I just stopped drinking. I didn't have any alcohol, and yeah, I had a couple drinks once. So the first one, man, I was like, damn, this is hitting me. Oh well, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have food in your stomach. Little did they know I did. But I was like, yeah, that must be the reason. So yeah. The low tolerance is good on the wallet, but also, your limit. You're not going to get, trashy.
Yeah, it's kind of similar with me for weed. I mean, I used to be, I literally used to do. I would wake up, I would pack a bowl, I would make breakfast, I would go to my community college classes that I would end up ditching to go into the parking lot and smoke another bowl. I'd go to work,
Jesus.
smoke a bowl on my lunch. Like it was literally like, I mean, I still did stuff. I was still like relatively productive, but it was definitely at a point where like, yeah, I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like I can't function without weed. I don't like that because I like weed and I don't want it to be a bad thing. So I just cut back and made it like a recreational thing that I did occasionally. And now, like, I mean, I smoked when my buddy was in town for the holidays. We smoked a bowl together and that was cool. But apart from that, like before that, the last time I smoked was probably like 5 months ago, and I haven't really had any cravings or anything. So I'm I'm kind of lucky in the fact that you know addictive personality doesn't really exist with me.
Oh man,
Um,
it does with me.
like
Jesus.
if I if I tell myself, yeah, I need to stop this, I can just stop it.
Yeah, well, and also it also really does help that weed is not a chemically addicting. It's more mental than anything. And on top of that, it really wasn't your, personality. Oh, I don't know. Was it your personality when you were doing it, pretty
Um,
regularly? I mean, did
what
you
we
have to
are
buy
you
the
talking
hats
about?
with
Like
the weed the weed leaf and everything? You had to
no,
have the
no, not at
pot.
all.
Okay, because yeah, I hate that shit. It's like, buddy, we get it. Yeah, I mean, we get it. It's a you smoke pot. You don't have to. It's not your fucking personality. Jesus Christ.
Mhm. No,
But
like I always hated being around people like that that just thought it was cool to talk about nothing but smoking weed.
mm,
Like the way I would attribute it is like to me, at least during that point, like weed was kind of the equivalent of like video games to me, even though I played video games too during that time where like I spent a lot of time doing it, but I wasn't obsessed.
yeah, I was. Hell, I didn't do much other
um
than play video games. I mean, granted, I went
well, to be
outside, hung out
fair,
with my buddies, but we were talking about video games.
yeah, I mean there wasn't much else to do in your time in the Precambrian age.
Yeah, I mean, it was either go out and fight a war, play video games, or get married to some stable girl and, pop out a fucking lineage of children, you know?
Yeah, and who would all die of cholera?
Exactly. Cholera, bubonic plague, chlamydia. I mean, it's like Russian roulette, but with diseases.
Yeah, I gotta say, you look really good for 185.
I do take very good care of myself. You know what it is? It's the preservatives in the food. I tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't look a day
All the
over
preservatives and
the chemical compounds. It's the red 40, I
yeah,
tell you.
that's literally what I was gonna say. All the preservatives and red. It basically encased your entire like nervous system and like digestive system and heart in like amber, like a mosquito from like you
Jurassic
know
Park.
5 million years ago or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
no.
it's basically preserving it perfectly.
Well, and it also helps that I have motor oil for blood, that or pancake syrup, one of the two. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
yeah. What's your
fucking
blood type? 30, weight 20.
yeah, 30W20
Anyway.
synthetic. Oh
Sorry,
shit.
my uncle just came in and I had to tell him I was recording. That didn't pick up on my end, did it?
No, I didn't even hear. I didn't even hear it.
All right.
Aurelius
Yeah.
Aurelius has his own place now, so now we can't really harp on him with his uncle now. So now we got to find somebody
Oh,
new.
okay.
You're the new Aurelius. Your uncle's the new
Yeah.
Uncle Tony.
my so my uncle is probably pretty close to the exact opposite of Aurelius's uncle, if I had to guess. He's like a 75-year-old half Welsh, half German guy from Oregon.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I don't know much about Uncle Tony. Aside from the bullshit that we've made up. I mean, from the little that I've heard it seems like he's a extremely nice guy. It's just
Hmm.
I mean, when the opportunity presents itself, sometimes you have to take advantage of it. And I do take advantage of those opportunities.
Has Max told you about Tony Scalepi?
No.
Okay. Maybe I should wait for him to come on the podcast again to talk about it. I'll have to remind him when he does come back on again.
To be fair, I don't really talk to you guys much outside of, D&D. So
yeah, everybody listening, we actually hate each other outside of D&D.
Yeah, right. We just absolutely hate each other. I tell you, we're complete fucking opposites. We're just like, oh, hey, we're all friends in game. And now it's like, once the camera stops rolling, that's it. We're like, hey, you motherfucker. I hope you trip, die, and fucking eat shit on your way down.
Boz's present to me was he mailed me a decomposing boar's head and of a little vial full of the Novo virus.
Damn. I'm very symbolic, apparently. Jesus. Hey, what's weird is I got that off of what's it called now? The TikTok shop. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something.
Oh,
let me tell you something about my TikTok. I don't know. Do you have TikTok?
No, I just YouTube Shorts for me. I don't.
Okay.
I don't need to doom scroll on 2 different fucking apps.
So my TikTok, there's an algorithm apparently that it shows you what you would be most interested in. Unfortunately, I don't know how the fuck mine got the way it is, but all I see is either these big bootied or big tittied goth girls, these ones that are saying, oh, you're such a good boy, and then ones that are spitting. What the fuck is wrong with my For You page, man? I don't go searching for this shit. It just pops up. And oh my God, it's funnier than hell. I mean, I sent one to the...
Oh, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Never mind, you got a fucking throbbing boner under your blanket while you're watching this shit.
Oh, I'm outside watching this shit. There's no blanket, bud. But no, like I sent one to the group chat, I think, or the Discord. Holy shit, it was funny because it caught me off guard. This woman, she's sitting in her car, she's talking about some bullshit about how, oh well, you haven't been appreciated, blah blah blah. And she hawks the hardest fucking lurch and spits it at her phone, and it's just like, what the fuck? People are into this shit. Holy fuck, let's take a break though real quick. I gotta go take care of something.
All right.
That of course was a joke and supposed to elicit a laugh, you son of a bitch. Jesus. But yeah, it caught me off guard because it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, big tittied goth girls, I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's self-explanatory.
Bro, sorry, go ahead.
The spitting shit is very concerning. It's like watching that fucking dinosaur from Jurassic Park with the fat guy. He's like, hey there, cutie. It's like, what the fuck?
I think you showed too much of your hand, Boz. I don't think that people are going to believe that it is by accident that it showed up in your For You page.
So I'll be honest. The goth girls, 100%. That's not by accident. I mean, I will linger on that video for about 10 seconds. The other ones where it's the praising or whatever the hell it's called, and the spitting, that's the concerning part. Then every now and again I'll get these other random videos of what is it?
So you know what it is
I think it hears things.
Well, probably, but it's also just because other people that also watch those more normal videos of just the girls, like, also look at that other weird shit. So it's like, oh, this guy watched the same videos as all these other people, so he'll probably like this. So it's not really your fault. It's that other people are a little more.
So it's like
a little more adventurous with their TikTok searches.
Hey! Now I'm an adventurous soul. Okay, don't be casting your your disparaging judgment upon me. But no, I mean, it would make sense. It would make sense now that I'm thinking about it. Cause yeah, if you, cause like our videos get recommended off of someone else's video. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But
That's the thing, like,
it's still a little disturbing getting spat at for no fucking reason.
That's the thing, like at a certain point, once our content stops sucking, apparently, because I mean, it's probably just because people have been busy over the holidays, but we haven't gotten as many views on our videos. But
yeah,
hopefully down the line, our shit gets recommended by people who just watch stuff generally in the tabletop crowd.
well,
so at a certain point, we're actually going to have a leg up, and our stuff's going to hopefully get pushed out a little more. But
well, to be fair, our stuff does get recommended. Like it's the recommendations though that are kind of hit and miss. Like when it's TTRPG related, 100% on the spot. If it's like video game related, that's kind of hit and miss depending on the topic. When it's ask a lawyer, because I've seen that come across a couple times. Ask a lawyer. That's 100% a miss, because I mean, what the fuck does our shit have to do with asking a lawyer? And then it makes you kind of sit there, your blood runs cold, and you go, what did we do?
War crimes that Aurelius commits, probably.
The fucking crimes against God were apparently committed.
Yeah.
Like, jeez. But yeah, no, I mean, like, the recommendations are so far pretty good. I notice when we end up doing like a survey, we end up getting a boost in our views. We'll get our shit will get propelled. But for the most part, the long format stuff is being watched for a lot longer, which is nice. Like the D&D stuff, that stuff is getting more than just 30 seconds of a view. I also think that I think changing up the what's it called, the quality. So for those people that are listening, basically our Halo series, a lot of people really don't seem to care about. One of the biggest issues that me and Aurelius did see is that the video quality is pretty shitty. And we have racked our brains for, I want to say the last 2 months, because the Halo series we've recorded, it's all scheduled to go up. So it's not like we're continuing. It's not like we're still recording the episodes and putting it out the same week like D&D or this podcast. So we're seeing it. We're like, shit, man, his audio's fucked. My audio's not too bad. But the video, like I could deal with shitty audio. I can. But when it's shitty quality video, it's like, what the fuck were you doing? And I think that series is getting zero fucking results, mainly because of the quality of video. And it could be the content itself, us joking around, pretending to be different characters, role playing. That could also be it. But yeah, then you get these weird views. You get one view that hits dislike after 3 seconds. And it's just like, how do you even know that you disliked it? You were like, 3 seconds. Nope. Or my favorite is 1 second. You get a 1 second view with a dislike. It's like, okay, that don't make no sense. But hey,
it's gotta be like, I'm willing to bet it's probably some like bullshit like botting thing where down the line they're gonna try to like message them. I'll be like, hey, if you share this drop shipping link or whatever, I'll change my dislike to a like. I mean, like, botting is still such a huge problem on YouTube.
Yeah.
In the comments alone, I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility for shit like that to happen. And they probably target small channels too, because they know that a dislike is going to hurt them a lot more than a like, even if the dislike button's hidden now.
I couldn't tell you if it's hidden or not. I think it's the number is hidden, the amount of dislikes. Because yeah, I've seen it on shorts where I'll put out a short and it'll gain some good traction. And when I say good traction, I mean 2, 3, 400 views, and the like to dislike ratio will be say 10 likes and 8 dislikes, and it's just like, damn, that's a lot of dislikes for a video that's getting this amount of traction being watched this much through. And then the next day it's 100% likes. It's like, okay, so obviously somebody didn't go in there and say, you know what, I changed my mind. It's bots. And what sucks is, after X amount of dislikes, the video, of course, just kind of dies out. So the initial watch, I kind of just stopped paying attention to, because it's just like, all right, I'd much rather our stuff be slow burn. People are like, all right, let me check this out, and they'll watch it, say month or two down the road. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the initial stuff I've stopped paying attention to, because that shit'll fucking kill you inside, because it's just like, oh my god, I gotta change everything.
Yeah. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to worry about all that.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a hell of a cold open, though.
Yeah.
So, dude,
I was not expecting to get into fucking analytics and everything.
Right? Do we put the intro music in, or do we save that for another episode where we may have? Because my thing is, we ain't got nothing. It'll be weird looking at it as a black screen, but I mean, we could put it in there. It's up to you. I don't mind.
Yeah, let's try it out.
All right.
Why not?
Master B.A.T.R. cast. Bass on the left and Slacker on the right. Two idiots who masturbate all night, talking about nothing at all, just throwing shit at the wall. This tavern's got no atmosphere. Ever since we stepped in here, pull up a chair and pick up a drink, 'cause we got topics that'll make you not think. Master B.A.T.R. cast.
People are gonna be like, wait, they got a song? Yes, we do. And who wrote that song, Slacker?
That was, well, if we're talking about the lyrics was me.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
we
know.
used,
That's what I was saying. Who wrote that
Yeah.
song?
Yeah, so the lyrics was all me. But because we're fucking talentless hacks, to actually generate the music, we used an AI program. Sue us.
Don't invite that.
So here's the thing, right? I do understand the outrage against against AI, because it can, I mean, it already has put people in the service industry out of jobs with like the automatic ordering machines from McDonald's and shit, which suck ass, by the way. I've never gotten my order right from like one of those walk-up kiosks inside that take your order. It always fucks something up, or the card won't go through, or like the fucking drive-out assistant AI voice, where you'll try to order a fucking cheeseburger and a milkshake, and it'll try to give you like 20,000 fucking chicken nuggets. Like, and I've never seen it work for anybody. I've seen videos all over the internet of people complaining about this shit. So I get it, especially in more creative fields where you could argue that the human element is what makes it unique and enjoyable, with like art and music and all that. But the thing is just like, it's a small channel. We're doing it basically for fun. We're doing it for no money or anything like that. And, we don't have, not everybody, owns instruments. Not everybody owns like the proper recording software or anything to like record a bunch of tracks stuff, and then EQ it and all that. So like, just we're trying shit out, and it's fun for us, and hopefully it's fun for you guys. But at the end of the day, we're kind of just a bunch of guys sitting down and playing tabletop RPG together, and we're just adding stuff to it that we find entertaining and we find fun, and we hope that you guys do too. But we're a small channel. We're guys who are doing this in what little spare time we have, and so we're kind of just using tools to hopefully add some entertainment value. But until circumstances change, or or whatever, AI stuff it's not going to be abundant. But we're gonna probably try out some things here or there.
We're definitely not gonna mislead you either. We're not gonna act like, yeah, we totally came up with this and we did all this, blah blah blah.
We're gonna be
nothing
transparent.
like that. Because eventually, I mean, what would be cool is if we could at least market, at the very least. That would be cool. However, it would be transparent. And it wouldn't be like, oh, hey, look at this. This is totally cool. You should totally... Nothing like that. I mean, like Slacker said, we're doing this for fun. It's fun. We're having fun. And if you guys have fun too, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But, I mean, me personally, I won't sit here and pretend like I haven't thought about, hey, it'd be cool as if we could make a little bit of money off of that. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't thought about it or haven't talked about it. But it's, we want to be trusted too. That's the main thing is if we say something, we want it to be known that it is trusted and at least to the best of our abilities as honest as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, the AI stuff, it is hated by a lot of people, but I'm going to be honest, it's a good tool to have a little bit of fun with. If you're being sleazy about it and like, oh yeah, I totally came up with all this, composed it and did all right, whatever. Like a lot of these big companies are using AI and then going, well, we had no idea that AI was possibly used. Well, fuck you. That's a problem. Like, that's a big fucking problem. Because
it's like, really, you couldn't see that picture of that guy, his hand has like 18 fingers on it and it's turning into fucking spaghetti,
right? Like, I mean,
dude, I don't know what it is. Like those AI those AI models,
they cannot draw
AI
fingers.
imaging models cannot draw fingers. And do you remember like probably a year and a half ago that fucking infamous video now of like AI Will Smith eating spaghetti, and it's like the most horrifying fucking thing.
Yeah, or the Rock eating rocks.
Yeah,
that one.
And his jaw like unhinges, and his face is all smushed up.
Yep. And now, of course, AI has gotten a lot better, but you could still, if you examine something for longer than a minute, you could start seeing where it's like, all right, this is AI. This image is AI, because an artist will, if they're a good artist, if they're a shit artist, obviously, you're going to be able to tell, but a good artist, you're going to see the detail. You're going to see that things make sense, whether that's the shading or the direction that the eyes are looking, if they're not looking off in two different directions. The biggest issue with AI is it doesn't know how to do it can do eyes as long as that's the focal point. If it's, like, oh, I want a character kind of looking off into the distance, you're going to see where the eyes are kind of fucked up. Of course, the hands are fucked up too, especially if they're holding anything. It's like, oh, holding a sword, and it's like they're holding this sword with a clenched hand, fully closed, and the sword's just kind of there. So I fucked around with enough AI images to kind of see it's like, all right, these images aren't the best. However, I've never once tried to pass them off as anything, other than AI or legitimate.
Yeah,
like, I drew these.
Most most of the character images for Fallout. Not all of them, because I know Max is trying to get art for Graft, and Axel's is real art that I paid for.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff, the images for that is AI generated. Yep. Boz, you made the interface and like the overlay from assets that you found online, but you made all that yourself. So
yeah, so the Pip-Boy is assets from the Fallout 1 and 2, I believe. The images of the characters, that's AI. Aside from Axel and soon to be Graft. The other stuff where, you know, like, oh, the health, the name, that kind of shit, I made that shit myself. Of course, it's not too difficult to do. Making all those parts moving, that was it was a challenge, because it, you know, for me, because I don't have much experience in editing, and it does show. All those moving parts are individual videos that I had to create. So I created videos of each character's image so that it had like that grainy effect. And then when it would switch over, of course, you had the audio. That audio's from Fallout 4. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there. And I mean, could I sit here and say like, yeah, totally, I created those images out of nowhere? Sure, but then all the other hard work that I did may get questioned too. So I don't care to take credit for fucking AI imaging.
Yeah. And for the record, we are, you know, we are gonna try to get more art drawn by real artists as time goes on. It's just, you know, like I said, we're not made of money, and we're doing this basically, you know, at no profit or anything like that, which we're happy to do because we have a lot of fun doing it. But, you know,
we need to get an artist who isn't afraid to draw a penis. That's what we need to get. Well, no, I'm telling you.
We need every character with their dick out.
No. I'm telling you, if they're not afraid to draw a penis, they're not afraid to draw anything. And you know, that's my, because I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, our D&D campaign, the main one, and this one, the Fallout one, it's not, I mean, it's very crude and crass, and I think the art should also reflect that. So, you know, when you got a character whose power is based off of, you know, dick magic, I mean, how do you translate that into art when an artist may be uncomfortable? And there's nothing wrong with an artist being uncomfortable and having boundaries. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because you know what? That's okay. That's absolutely okay. But I think having an artist that can match that crass crude, I think that's where it would be perfect, because then it's like, all right, you got this guy doing dick magic. Now, are you going to see a full on, you know, dick? No. But if he's shooting what appears to be globs of glue from the pelvic region, I mean, then it makes sense. Then you could kind of fill in the blanks. But if someone's not comfortable with that, then, I mean, we can't just say, well, your character doesn't get art because our artist or the artist was uncomfortable. Right. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But yeah, fucking, because I've been looking at some artist stuff, and holy shit, there's a few where it's just like, damn, that's the kind of shit that I, you know, envision, you know, where it's kind of got that, trying to think of a way to explain it. It's kind of got like that horror touch, where it's kind of like, you know, the lines drawn where it's like your brain is kind of putting shit together. Where I don't think I'm explaining it right, but basically it's you know, it looks kind of like horror style. where it's like that dark fantasy, I guess it's called. That dark fantasy style. But yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of TikTok, I almost forgot to mention. So in the breaks of big titty goth girls and these dommy mommies or whatever the fuck they're called, I've been getting a few fucking videos where it's a couple creators that I've seen where they're saying that if you record D&D, you are not playing D&D, you are just basically reading a script. And they go into their argument saying like Critical Role is scripted, there's no actual role play, these are actors, voice actors, blah blah blah. And it's just like they're totally scripted. I mean, you can see this, you could see that, and it's just like, okay. But is Critical Role and subsequently every other major, we'll say major because I've only seen Critical Role when I used to watch that, and a couple clips from, I think it's Roll20. It's either Roll20 or D20.
Yeah, with Brennan Lee Mulligan, right?
Yeah, him, yeah. So I can only speak on those two because I haven't seen any of the others that are out there. But to sit there and say that it's totally scripted, that basically they're just doing a table read, I think is disingenuous.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're recording D&D, obviously, you're going to play up. I mean, you're going to play up certain things. Certain things are going to, be played up. Like a character death may be played up a little more so than normal. When a success happens, like a game changing, natural 20. I mean, you may get excited, but you're also going to kind of play up to it because you're being recorded. You want the audience, whoever's watching, to enjoy it, be with you, go like, oh my God.
Yeah, and like we get hype as fuck when one of us rolls in that 20.
Oh yeah.
If you've ever been at a D&D table before, you know how awesome it is to roll a natural 20 on fucking anything. Like a lot of people get hype.
Well, yeah, and especially when it's game changing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were gonna say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say it's all right. When I worked in the in the game store, the tabletop game store, because we had tables where people could play Warhammer or D&D or Pathfinder. Like it was just tables where groups could come in, they could rent a table for however many hours they wanted and just play whatever system or module they wanted. And constantly there would be people, we would hear people from the table room like, yeah, like screaming and cheering because they were rolling that, they would roll that 20s or they would roll really well with damage or something like that. So like to say that that's an overreaction is kind of disingenuous from what I've seen.
Mm. Well, but I mean to not acknowledge that when you're recording, which I'm not saying you're not doing, but to not acknowledge we all kind of play it up a bit. We kind of, when we're recording, we play up our characters.
Yeah, because we gotta bring some type of entertainment value to the table.
Exactly.
But that's not being disingenuous. That's not faking.
Well, and that's my thing is to sit there and say that it's basically these people are doing table reads is, I mean, let's break it down. What it constitutes as something being scripted? I mean, are we talking where it's full-blown table read, or are we talking like WWF or WWE scripted, where there's an outcome, there's a beginning and there's an end, but everything that happens in the middle is kind of, up to whoever's involved? Because
right.
I mean, if we're gonna sit here and say that Matt Mercer is cool with writers writing up these scripts, you know, for something that he created, I mean, that's a bit. I mean, that's reaching for damn sure. Um,
Oh yeah,
are there scripted events? Sure. I mean,
probably yeah.
most likely.
Well,
I mean,
that's
what D&D
I mean,
campaign does not have scripted events?
right, in the sense of like the dungeon master has story points that he wants to hit, or maybe there's stuff about the characters that they want to touch on during their
Exactly.
run in the campaign. Then absolutely, but that's you know,
Well, the biggest argument I think was character deaths. Like, oh well, so and so's character died because of this, and it's just like, okay, so obviously character deaths may be scripted, maybe. So when I say maybe, I mean, you know, the player comes to the DM and goes, "Hey, I think I've ran my course with, you know, this character. I don't think there's really much else I can do with this character. Is it okay if we kill him off?" And that comes, you know, comes down to the DM saying like, "Yeah, let's kill him off," or I don't. I think there could be more to your character, but let's not kill him off just yet. Let's just have him leave. You know, step away and leave the party. Kind of, you know, fuck off, do whatever. That's that's scripted because the two of you are working out a subplot, a storyline within the story, and how you guys go from point A to point Z is, you know, kind of just up in the air. Now, whether that's all fucking scripted is just mind boggling because, I mean, Jesus Christ. That's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, I don't know how you could script like every week they're doing like a 3 to 4 hour
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
It's like I don't know how you're going to be able to rehearse and script every single line, every single role.
well, and this is all live too. If I remember correctly, they're streaming the shit. They're not recording the shit. They're streaming. So they're doing all this in one go. So it's live. There's no okay, cut, let's run it again. You know, your emotion wasn't there. There's none of that. So they'd
be there for like 9 hours.
To do a fucking table read straight through is, I mean, is it possible? Sure. I mean, they do have a week to work on it. If that's the case, if, you know, everything was fully scripted, I would think they'd have better shit to do though.
Yeah. Like they're making that, like they're working on a whole new system of their own called Daggerheart, which is in the open beta that they've been doing for, I think it's going to be close to like half a year at this point, maybe longer. They have the Critical Role Foundation, which is like a fundraiser foundation. They have a whole shop they have to run and come up with new merch for pretty much every week, you know, like, and then they have like, and then they have offshoot stuff that they do on the side, and then they all have normal voice actor work on top of that. I was
about to say, they got voice acting gigs too.
Yeah. Like, bro, they're busy. They're not going to have time. Like, they're already probably in the booth for voice acting and doing take after take after take. They're not going to want to every week at least go for like 9, 10, 11 hours. And because that takes all the fun out of playing D&D.
Exactly.
I like to just look at it from an outsider perspective who's never done any voice acting work, but I know people who have done voice acting, and I know, you know, I've watched stuff about the voice acting industry. It's like, it's super tiring on your voice, and even the shortest sessions can last like 4 or 5 hours, where you're constantly raising your voice, doing a voice that is not your natural voice. That is going to wear on your fucking throat so much. And then to stretch that out already into like 9 or 10 hours. Yeah.
Well, and even you know, even just talking normal for 4 to 5 hours straight it's rough. It takes its toll.
Yeah, I when we do our sessions, I go through probably like close to 3 liters of water. It's I have to hydrate a lot to keep my throat in check, and already I haven't been drinking a whole lot of water while I've been recording this, and I can already feel that my throat is like a little.
Oh yeah, I totally just looked at my coffee cup and then looked at the 2 empty water bottles on my desk. It was just like, fuck. And we've only been recording for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but to sit there and genuinely say with full conviction, and of course I'm not mentioning the creators' names because I'll be honest, I didn't pay attention, and nor do I care to mention these creators, because it's just like the topic is good. It's good to talk about. However, I think it was made in such a disingenuous way, and it already had, I think it was like 100,000 likes and X amount of fucking thousands of comments. So, but to sit there and now, Critical Role is the number one D&D recorded set, or the number one recorded session show, I guess you could say. They're sitting at number one. I would argue to say that Roll20 is sitting at number two. But to sit there and try to disparage, or not disparage, but to discredit the hard work that these people do put in to a series or show, like, what they do. Oh, it's all scripted. Like, as a DM, do I have scripts? No. Do you guys come to me and say, hey, I would kind of like to want to do this with my character? 100%. Will I write down footnotes? Yes. But do I have a full script that I hand to you guys? Fuck no. I got better shit to do.
No, that's way more trouble than, dude. I will say this right now. If one day you messaged me and you said, hey, we're going to start scripting the show, I would honestly tell you to go fuck yourself.
Well, and honestly, I tell you this, if I told you guys, hey, let's script the show, I would expect at least half of you guys to say, yeah, I'm out. Because that's not D&D. It's a table read. And we're here to have fun. Even though let's say we get to the point where we can market our stuff. If I come to you guys and say, hey, I think we should just start doing scripts for X, Y, and Z reason, like I said, I would expect it to be told, yeah, no, I'm done. If that's the case, I'm done, because I'd much rather play a game I enjoy and play it how it's meant to be played than reading one person's vision for everything, because that's what it is. It goes from being a collaborative role-playing game, storytelling, to just one person's vision for how everything should go.
Yeah. And if you're a DM and you have a hard time, now obviously you can't give your players like 100% agency 100% of the time, because then they're steering the ship and you're not going to get a chance to DM. But if you're like a DM and you're struggling to let your players have any type of control, and you just want to dictate the entire story, maybe you shouldn't be a DM and you should just write a book.
Pretty much.
Not that you shouldn't be a DM. I think everybody should, if they have an interest in tabletop, they should learn how to DM, and they should DM at least once. But you need to have a healthy relationship with your players, and you can't let them have too much power, and you can't let yourself have ultimate power over everything. It is collaborative God. Storytelling.
Well, like the way I run our shit, I give you guys about, I would say, 98 to 99% agency.
You let us get away with a lot.
Well, because the thing, my belief is if I tell you, hey, you can create a character in this world and you can do anything you want, I expect you to kind of see where the line is. Like with Aurelius. Aurelius wants to find where that line is. That way he can habitually try to step over it. But, that's where it's just like, if you guys want to go do something, you guys can do something. For instance, Aurelius found out as Balthazar, he found out in the town that there were new laws. You know, you couldn't brandish a weapon, you couldn't, you know, hurt anybody, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. You know, basic laws. The first thing he does, he breaks as many laws as he can within the first 10 fucking minutes. He smacks the shit out of a woman by brandishing his gun, shoots this dude in the head. It's just like, what the fuck? So, and I didn't say, oh, dude, you can't do that. I didn't say that. I said, okay, you just broke the laws. And of course, he tried to argue, well, you know, this wasn't a law. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're the one holding the gun. No one else has a gun. Obviously, you're the one that shot this dude. Well, I don't know, because, I mean, did they see it? There's a group of people that saw it. Oh, okay. like you
and then
have,
all of a sudden, oh, you have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. What say you in your defense?
Pretty much. But, like, I mean, you could get, and that's if you even want to. That's even if you want to give them as much player agency as possible. And I think it's a good balance because, you know, 98 to 99% player agency, and I only have to really step in on the crazy shit. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, now if it goes where it's just like, okay, hey, here's the plot hook, here's the story hook. Oh, well, we're just gonna totally disregard this and we're gonna fuck off and do this. Okay, you 100% can do that. But shit's not gonna work out the way you think it is.
I mean, how many times in the Fallout campaign so far have we gone back and forth to Diamond City? It's been like 4 times at this point, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think this is the first time where you guys are really, because I haven't put up the episodes yet. But you guys are finding out pretty fast that shit is very unfairly leveled, and 2, you can easily, you know, fuck up and shit can hit the fan in the worst of ways. Or, well, one of the episodes called the defecation hitting the oscillation. You know. So, I mean, you guys are finding out, just like, you know, when we reconvene this weekend, I'm going to let you guys know that from this point on, because I think you guys are all level 3 now. From this point on, if your character dies, that's it. There's no making a new character. You're out. You're out until either the story finishes or everybody's dead. Because if we have everybody just kind of join, if you die at, say, level 5, okay, I'll just rejoin and make a new character. Okay, well, why didn't this guy step in when all this shit was going on? Why is he now just stepping in? How many level 5s and level 10s and level 20s are there out there? You know, so
right.
I think you guys are kind of comfortable with your characters to the point where if your character dies, it's going to impact you pretty heavily. You got to remake your character because you died at level 1, and I did feel bad. So yeah, you died at level 1, and it's just like, fuck. All right, well,
well, to be honest, I am a lot happy. Like, I did really like Runt as a character. He was fun to make and he was fun to play, but I think I'm a lot more at home in Axel's character. He's a lot more fleshed out than just like 2 sentences of tragic backstory that I basically came up with on the fly.
Oh, and I was gonna say, Runt was a good character for the short term. Long term, I think Runt definitely would have kind of taken a much bigger back seat than, you know, what any of us really would have wanted, because there was only so much there. Because you wanted your character to reverse the FEV virus. Unfortunately, that wouldn't have been able to be done.
Not feasible.
Yeah, so that takes out a good portion of your character's wants and needs. So then what do we do with that character in the meantime? Because his want is to reverse the FEV. Well, we can't do that.
Yeah.
So
in the meantime, he just follows along all sad like.
Yeah, and that's no fun. Just being a backseat character. I mean, I don't mind it, but
Right.
you know,
Whereas Axel has a lot more motivation to help these guys with the stuff in the sewers, because if he helps them, he has his freedom and he gets caps, and he
yeah,
has a lot of motivations for getting caps because he has a lot of stuff he can spend caps on.
yeah, like
As a guy with
Psycho
a lot
and
of vices,
Berserker,
Psycho, and hookers basically is probably what
pretty
Axel's going to
much,
spend it on.
pretty much. But no, I mean, God, what kind of a hooker can you get for less than 100 caps? I don't think I want to know.
You can get some gussy.
Gets a Gussie, Jesus. Get a hooker for $2 and ask her to remove the scabs for $5.
No, leave them in. I like the texture.
I like the sandpaper. Oh, Jesus. But no, I mean, and then, even Fallout, we're playing Fallout, we're having fun with it. But to sit there and say, now, granted, am I saying that this creator, was also including us? No, fuck no. Do many people know about us doing our shit? No. Do I feel personally attacked? No. I think it needs to be addressed where it's just like there are people that believe that these recorded TTRPGs are just fully fucking scripted, and it's just like that's just not feasible. Especially if you've never played a tabletop role playing game, it's really just not feasible. Because as the DM, I'm thinking of storylines of what to do with your characters. I'm thinking of how the world is continuing when your characters are not interacting with that part of the world. I'm thinking of, okay, the future. I'm thinking of, okay, what would this character say in this situation? How would I do this? How would I do that? I already am racking my fucking brain on Fallout, and then on top of that, I'm racking my brain on our the D&D campaign too, continuing that. So I got better shit to think about. And all right, Axel. So in this scene, what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, I really just want to fuck her again before you cut her in half. It'd be really sinister as if you left the camera rolling. I reveal that I have an ex. Like, I got better shit to do. And if D&D was scripted 100%, would shit run a lot smoother? Sure.
Not with us. I'll tell you that right now.
I think it
with
would.
How much we get sidetracked?
I think it would. Well, that would eliminate the sidetrack. That would 100% eliminate the sidetrack, because now you're focused on reading a fucking script. And you ain't got the patience for, getting sidetracked, because there's no sidetrack.
Yeah, and that would last all of 5 minutes before Carnivaro, Richie, and Chico would be like, fuck this, I'm out.
Well, and to be completely honest, yeah, if it was scripted, they'd be gone for damn sure. Because there went their agency. There went the thing that brings them to the table. They like that freedom that they can do pretty much anything. The only thing I ask them not to do is two things. One, don't be a fucking murder hobo. And two, don't fucking come up with some convoluted way to destroy the fucking world. That's it. That's the only things I ask. Other than that, you have at it. Of course, there are some unspoken things where it's just like, right, don't do this, because why in the fuck would you do this? There's those unspoken ones, but for the most part, have fun. And yeah, I mean, they'd be gone. You and your brother'd be like, yeah, we didn't sign up for this. Fuck this. This isn't D&D. This is just table read. I think Mydorth would just disappear. He'd just be like, yeah, no, goodbye. My one time playing D&D and I get a fucking script.
Oh, thank you.
But no, I think
My North would give you the most polite fuck you that you've ever heard.
pretty much. But no, I think Critical Role and Roll20, I think they are just like any other tabletop game where, you know, the person that's running it has scripted events. I think I do know that Matt Mercer has been seen when he's giving a monologue. You could tell he's reading. I mean, you see him looking down.
Like
that's normal. That's DM notes. That's not that's not him reading off of a fucking script. That's a man who's got a lot going on and does not have time to remember a monologue verbatim. Because in his monologues, he likes to touch upon certain things. When I do my character monologues, I'm basically flying by the seat of my fucking pants because, one, I don't know how the fuck you guys are getting there. I can assume you guys are getting to the monologue, but of course we've got so many goddamn wild cards. Two, I have to assume that you guys are actually going to give me the chance to monologue, which has never been the case. And three, when I do come up with these monologues, they don't make sense in the context of which they're happening. So obviously I'm not going to do a forced monologue. Oh, good to see you folks here in one piece as Mydorth is missing an arm and Balthazar's leg is fucked. You know, I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those things where obviously I don't have notes. I don't use notes. I have footnotes just to kind of get an idea as to, you know, what to do. No scripts. Does Matt Mercer use a script? Sure, you could say he uses a script when he's reading his DM notes, but the show is not scripted. Is it a group of friends just playing D&D? I think that is a good argument to say that no, it's not just a group of friends playing D&D. It's a group of friends playing D&D and marketing their D&D campaign, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with.
It's very, very high production value, but that doesn't change the fact that, you know, they're still playing D&D. It's just with more flair to it.
Exactly. It's, you know, they're capturing reactions. They're, you know, I mean, if my buddy showed up with a fucking jerry can of water with my face on it, I mean, obviously I'd be laughing my ass off because what the fuck? But I mean, they have fun with each other. They're still friends. They're, you know, they just happen to be marketing their stuff, which again, absolutely nothing wrong with. I think a lot of these arguments are disingenuous, and I think they just come from a place of jealousy.
Right. Sorry, I gotta stop. Just for 1 second, someone's at my door. I'll be right back.
That was me. And
I'll be back in like 10 seconds.
While he leaves, I'm gonna sit here uncomfortably for 10 seconds, supposedly, and just breathe heavily into the microphone.
Hey, I'm back. My uncle just handed me some food.
It could be laced.
Let's find out.
Yeah, boy,
here's some crinkling paper bag ASMR.
Oh God. Make sure that when you bite into the food, you hear a crunch in your soft food. Not to worry, it's not a pill.
Oh no. I hate that. Texture is such a big thing for me, bro.
Oh jeez. Is that why you eat a Snickers bar upside down so you can feel the vein on your tongue?
Exactly. Upside down, inside out, left to right.
God. You're like, bro, I should really call him. Fuck. I eat corn the long way. But,
the long way.
Right?
Cob first.
You just make sure that your gag reflex is absolutely destroyed so you can impress the boys. Hey guys, guess what I can do now? But yeah, no, one of this other guy that I was watching, he said that there's no point in recording your D&D sessions or your TTRPG sessions because you're never going to compete with Critical Role or these big named ones. And it's just like, he has a fair point. If you're trying to compete with these other groups, you might as well just not record your shit because you're gonna fail.
Yeah, but that's like the fucking soy jack meme. Nothing ever happens. It's such a defeatist concept.
Well,
like, well, why bother having fun trying to make something when, or that's like saying, oh, why bother trying to open a small business when Amazon exists?
Oh, very true. But what I was gonna say was that Critical Role is king of the mountain. Roll20, like I said, in my opinion, is number 2. And they have not competed with each other ever. As far as I know, they've never competed with one another. You know what they have done? They've collaborated with one another. They've worked together. So yeah, I think if you're trying to compete, like that is your thing. I want to be number 1. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to beat one of them, I think you got the wrong idea. Like, we're not trying to compete with any of these people. I mean, it'd be cool to collaborate 100%. That would be fucking cool. I'd much rather collaborate than compete because you're ostracizing people. In my opinion, if you're trying to compete, you're ultimately gonna say we're better than. It's just like no, they tell a different story than us. They appeal to a different group of people than we would, and that's fine.
Like trying to exist in the same realm that something bigger also exists in. That's not competing with them.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people get that confused. Like you're not fighting against Critical Role. Like the space is big enough for so many creators just on YouTube alone. It's really not a combative place. Like the TTRPG sphere is very opening and welcoming, and I've run into so many people that have, tried to I've seen people help smaller creators and stuff like that, or just do all they can to introduce new players to it, new people. It's a very welcoming community.
Well, and you can watch, 10 different D&D shows on YouTube. They're different companies, different groups, and not one of them is the same. I mean, you could watch a video game playthrough, and it could be 2 different creators, and their playthrough will be very similar. The commentary may not be, but the playthrough is going to be very similar. So they're going to compete. They're going to try to do these speed runs where it's like, okay, well, this person did the same thing I did, so let me try to do it faster than they did. And then you get into the realm of competing. You can't compete in a collaborative storytelling because, I mean, the Curse of Strahd. I mean, you have people that run the Curse of Strahd religiously, and no 2 playthroughs are the same.
Oh yeah,
it's always different. The story's the same, 110%. The story is the same. If you are running it by the module, by the letter, the story is the same. The interactions and how they get there is completely different. So to say like, oh well, you're just wasting your time. I mean, yeah, if you get into it to compete, sure. You're wasting your time if you're trying to compete. And honestly, you don't even have to try to compete with the number 1. Say you're trying to compete with the number whatever. You're getting into it for the wrong fucking reasons. Like, there's no competition there. Sure, more people may tune into one person over another, but that's not really competition. I mean, it's not like Pepsi and Coke here. You know, it's basically like, hey, you like Pepsi? Cool. We like Pepsi. Do you like Coke? Perfect. We like Coke too. Have you tried these assortments of flavors in both Pepsi and Coke?
Right.
And you're going to get people that prefer Pepsi over Coke and Coke over Pepsi. However, we're not fucking competing. Yeah. I mean, would it be cool? I tell you this. Would it be cool to one day be considered in the same conversation as Critical Role? 1000%. Yes. That would be cool. Would it be cool to be told, hey, you know, yeah, you're the number one? Sure. That would be fucking awesome. However, you can't compete for that. That takes time. That takes a lot more than just, okay, so we're going to be an alternative to fucking Critical Role. We're going to be the absolute opposite. Like, okay, and you fail. Because there's a lot good that goes into that company and that group that if you're trying to compete, you're going to fuck yourself over. So he does a lot of research. I'm doing zero. like what the fuck? So yeah, I seen that in the mix of dommy mommies and fucking spitting women and big boobed goth girls. So yeah, that was my little take I had. I bet you most of our viewers are just like, yeah, fuck all that rambling shit. Oh.
I mean, the reception of the podcast has been pretty good.
It has.
We've been getting a bunch of comments, and well, a bunch of comments is an overstatement, but we've been getting comments here and there, and it seems like the views are good, so people you like enjoy Postel's? Us rambling, I guess.
You like Postel's comment? You seen that one?
Yep.
That shit had me.
What you two fail to understand about.
Yeah, right. Here, I'll read that fucker verbatim. Here you go, Postel. Here's your 5 minutes of fame. So what you two fail to understand is that the woke mind virus is infecting every corner of entertainment. It can be obvious, as Boz pointed out, by his remark of checkbox characters, or it's subtle where it's LGBT everything all the time and you're being forced to accept it, whether you like it or not. This channel seems to be run by rhinos and snowflakes because you stand for nothing and have fallen for the lies perpetrated by the deep state swamp. And you best pray to the almighty God that you're on the right side of history, boys, when the bill comes due. Like, did he not watch the episode? You stood for no pulp. You took a stand against no pulp. Or pulp, sorry. You took a stand against pulp being an orange juice. Mm-hmm. So obviously he didn't listen to the thing. So also had to look up what rhinos were, which that was funny because it's just like, wow, we're rhinos. That's RINOS, not like the animal.
What is a rhino?
It's a Republican in name only. Yeah,
didn't I ever say I was a Republican?
Who the fuck knows? I never said I was a part of any party. I mean, we had a wonderful conversation about characters and the creation of characters, and you know what we look for in these characters. And this dude just, I mean, like, it's like he fucking listened to, I don't know what party would have listened to. But he listened to it was just like, I'm fucking done. Like, buddy. Dude. And so is LGBT affecting or infecting, because it said infecting everything. I mean, it depends.
That's way the wrong word for it.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with having.
It depends on what your definition of infecting is, because I
Right.
mean, if it's like, hey, they're literally existing, yeah, buddy, take that shit up the fucking road. If
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I can't watch my favorite show anymore because they've made one of my favorite characters who was an LGBT all of a sudden become out of the blue. Okay, choose a different word though, because affecting with an affecting is a lot more appropriate than infecting, because it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Over here
Yeah.
making it sound like it's a fucking disease. But hey, he used infecting, whatever. Um Go back and watch the episode in its entirety, and you'll see that we both have said that we don't care for characters that are just checkbox characters or that are forced into a scene that is unnecessary.
Yeah.
And
There's nothing wrong with like having representation for marginalized groups in video games, but that is a totally different thing from trying to shove it down people's throat. I think it was very heavy-handed from what I saw in Veilguard, which I still haven't played.
yeah,
But
it's like
I
cringeworthy fucking. I've seen I've seen some of the clips, and it is like cringy. The amount of ham-fisted it goes in on there. Like your character, you're trying. From my understanding of the story, you're literally trying to save the world. But hey, let's go have food. Go have dinner with my mom, and just be awkward about it. I'm non-binary. Okay. Thought we were saving the world, but I guess your problems are bigger than this. Oops. Like, it's fucking cringy. Like, could you have granted, I still haven't played it either, so I might be getting a bit of information incorrect, which is fine. I'm not perfect. But yeah, to sit there and say that we're basically just full of bullshit, and there's nothing wrong with the comment makes no sense in regards to the fucking video that it was posted under. That's the problem. Because I distinctly remember bitching about checkbox characters, where it's just like they're just because.
It's so outrageous. For a second, I was like, "Is this Aurelius like making a joke?"
I thought 100%. I thought it was one of the guys that was using an alt account just to fuck with us, but no, they're both, because I mean, comments like that, if it was to fuck with us, is disparaging, and it really doesn't have a place here. And they both agreed, so I was like, all right, maybe this is a legitimate person who's just oblivious to the fact that, oh hey, somebody has a difference of opinion but also agrees to some extent. Well, that's impossible. The bill's coming due, boys. Like, get fucked. Like, I don't like checkbox characters. I don't like characters all of a sudden one day going, you know what, I'm gay. I don't like that shit. I don't like characters that are race swapped just for the pure fact that they needed to have a box checked.
I said it in that episode. If you want good representation for characters of different races or sexualities or whatever in video games or any type of media, you need to write them as a good character first,
exactly.
And then like gay, black, etc. second. That cannot be the focal point of their personality, because it does a disservice to the groups that you're trying to represent. It makes them so one-dimensional, and that's not how people are in real life 99% of the time.
No, because I mean, if you got a character that's just like, oh hey, I'm black, and that is all you will ever learn about me, I don't care to learn about that character, because they're surface level, and that's the problem is Gary only saw the surface level and didn't actually listen to the rest of it and formulated an opinion off of that based off of surface level information. When you have surface level characters, they're shit, regardless of if they're LGBT, if they're straight, if they're black, white, whatever. If you have a surface level character who has the personality of a fucking water droplet, they're a shitty character and you should rethink things. Pure and simple.
And to the guy that left that comment, on that episode, life is too short and to be precious to hold hate in your heart, man. I hope that, you know, you change for the better and become a happier and less angry person. And, you know,
he's been angry for like the last 2 fucking years. We made a fucking religion off of this guy because of the shit he was saying. Because goddamn, if Postelianism hasn't died, it's still there in the recesses, you know, just waiting to be brought back up. Hell, I might actually introduce it in fucking D&D. You know what, Postel? I tell you, I'm gonna bring it back up in D&D. That's just for you. I probably won't, but it's funny to say. But yeah, no, I mean, he's been like this for 2 fucking years. I was going through the YouTube studio and I saw that we have a few more comments.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and I call this guy Anal Bum Cover, but apparently it's an album cover. 3530 said, now I've already responded to this, but I do think it's worth mentioning. He goes, "Hey, big dogs, been doing D&D myself because you and I love it. I want to see more of this or see more of it for sure, like a special or something." So, and I had already responded to it because, I mean, the dude said that he got into D&D because of us. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Because, yeah, I mean, shit. Dudes watched our shit and, yeah, got into D&D because
you're breaking up real bad.
Oh, my God. Can you hear me now? I guess. Hang on. I'll leave the call, hop back in. Gotta love how Discord really is not the greatest for long extended periods of time.
If you are speaking, my friend, I cannot hear you.
Oh, geez. That might actually be a you thing. Can you hear me now? Oh. Okay. Well, that's a bit weird, but we'll get back into it.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, thank God. What was the last thing you heard?
That this guy got into D&D because of us, apparently.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fucking cool and worth mentioning.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, because it's just like, holy shit, you know. I mean, I know he's been subscribed to us for a while now. Yeah. And yeah, fucking him and Postel used to get
finally matter to someone, boss.
I know, right? Yay. I'm finally living up to my own expectations.
It's enough to melt my hypertension riddled heart.
Oh, dude, I got stage 2 hypertension. Holy shit.
I was joking.
I'm not.
I'm fat, but surprised. Well, that sucks for you, fatty. No.
Right. Yeah, I got to find that out once. I was like, oh, okay. Probably should start doing something about that. As it gets awkwardly awkward fucking silent.
should is the operative word there.
Oh, I am. I'm jumping on it.
Cool. Oh, you're jumping on it? Ooh.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I can still jump.
Bouncing, riding.
I can still jump. Oh, but yeah, no, I thought that was pretty cool to mention. Moving past the fact that I'm fucking practically dying over here. Uh, I'm one cheeseburger away from having a fucking stroke. Surprisingly though, having stage 2 hypertension, and the way I know that is because of my blood pressure. Surprisingly though, exercising really doesn't bug me. Like, I would have never known that I had stage 2 hypertension if I didn't have.
That's good. At least I can safely work towards getting it lowered.
Yeah. But yeah, I would have never known unless because I went to the doctors because I had this scientitis thing flaring up, and yeah, they told me that it looked like I was stage 2 hypertensive, and I was like, oh, okay, well maybe that's just because I'm here at the doctor's and I'm kind of in pain, as my face is fucking swollen. They're like, oh, maybe. And it's just like, all right. So I checked my blood pressure at home, and yeah, sure enough, I was like, all right, well, got to jump on that shit.
Yeah. When I go to the doctors, they always have to take my blood pressure twice because I'm always focusing and worrying too much about it the first time. So my blood pressure is like super high. And then like they'll do it like a couple minutes later and it's fine. So, I mean, apparently my heart's pretty healthy. Yeah. I am overweight, but I my doctor was like, do you work like a physical job? I'm like, yeah, I'm on my feet like 9 hours a night, and I walk about 10 miles every night, and I lift a bunch of heavy stuff. He's like, oh, well, that would explain why your heart's in pretty good health despite your weight. He said, you should try to start dieting, try to eat a little cleaner, and I guarantee you'll start shedding weight. So I've been trying to eat a little healthier. Only, I'm maybe like once a week. I'm giving myself a little treat. So having this little milkshake today.
Yeah, no, me, I tell you, like I weigh myself every day just to kind of get an idea, and I'm fluctuating up and down 10 pounds each day. So that's what? Yeah, I did. I tell you.
You Oprah Winfrey?
I don't know how. I really don't know how. Like one day I'm, 356, the next day I'm 366. So it's one of those, what?
Do you take like massive turds?
From time to time, yeah. I mean, like I'll fucking take a shit, 3-4 times in the span of an hour, 2 hours.
What?
Yeah.
I think maybe you're just like overproducing shit.
Possibly.
Me gesturing wildly to our channel.
Right. You're Postel, aren't you? But no, I mean, like, it's one of those things. And of course, you get told, oh, you don't look that way. Yeah, well, I'm not happy with the number on the scale. Yeah. Because that scale ain't lying to me.
Yeah. I mean, me and Max, we wear our weight pretty well. Max is a little bit bigger than I am. I think he's about like 380. I'm hovering around like 310.
Yeah, see me.
But my doctor told me like, what?
Oh, I was just saying, I hate it. I hate, I wear my weight well, sure, but at the same time, it's just like, I hate those numbers on the scale. I got to get those down. 265 is a good one. 265, I'm happy. Because then I'm slim.
I feel like you probably look like a monster at 265.
Oh, I'm slim, but I'm not like fucking, because 250 is the lowest I'll go. Anything other than that is just, I don't care. It's too much work. And I'm not trying to, fucking show off. It's more of 265. I'm happy. I can breathe a lot easier. I'm not fucking gasping for air in my sleep. But yeah, fucking 265. I'm happy. 365. Holy shit. And did you know if you drop 30 pounds, you gain an inch to your dick?
Damn.
Yeah.
So if I lose 60 pounds, I'm gonna have a whole 2.5 inches of dick. You hear that, little guy?
Right. I might as well just start turtling out like, hey, I am still here. It comes out, it's just like, hey, I could see
You would
the
not
light.
believe how stuffy it was in there.
I see the light. Fucking hell. You hear that, little guy? God. But yeah, no, I was surfing TikTok, and there was this very attractive nurse who was basically just bouncing, and the words were coming across the screen. I had to watch it several times just to kind of get what she was trying to get across the screen. And
yeah, of course.
yeah, you know, fucking yeah. I was like, wait a minute, if I lose 30 pounds, I could gain an inch? Oh, wow.
Does that mean that skeletons have huge dicks? Because they don't weigh a lot.
Hey, you know, from what I've heard, them skeletal fuckers are pecking that schmeat. So, you know, that's what I've heard. Which I don't want to be a skeleton. Fuck that.
Yeah, it could be misinformation from big bones.
It could be misinformation from big boobs. Yeah, yeah. That definitely does track.
That's
okay. Trying to get us
we got him way off track. Back to that wonderful comment from what did you say, anal bum cover?
Yeah, his name reads like anal bum cover, but apparently his profile picture says an album cover. So it's like, yeah, I read that wrong too. And it's just like, oh, Jesus. So, but yeah, he's into D&D, which I think is cool. I mean, if he listens to this portion of it, of the podcast, I hope to hear, you know, some of the stories or read some of the stories that, you know, he's gotten to experience in the campaigns that he's played in or the stories that he's played in. I think that would be pretty cool.
Hell yeah, man. We would love to hear about your experiences with D&D so far. If you have any fun stories or just want to tell us about your experience overall, that would be awesome. Like, we don't get a whole lot of comments, so we read each and every one, and we appreciate every comment that someone leaves, and we're happy to hear that you were inspired because of this channel.
Yeah, pretty much. Because shit, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. It's nice to see that, you know, because of us, somebody got into a game that we're enjoying, and hopefully you're enjoying it too, man. So yeah, definitely, if you got some fun stories or maybe just some interesting things, just drop it down. Of course, we're totally not going to steal it because, you know, I mean, there's evidence that it's already happened, so don't worry about us stealing anything. Or it randomly popping up. And I know that this probably sounds like I'm like, yeah, don't worry, totally give me some ideas. No, that's not the case. It's just, it's nice to hear others' experiences about D&D that are good, not these fucking horror stories that I've seen.
Yeah, we're not going to bogart it for our own campaigns or anything, but we are going to plug it into our new AI learning model.
Possibly. And then, of course, we've got the comment from Kitty HP1. We have, now, I haven't responded to this. I quite literally just gave it a like, because I think we should just start reading comments during the podcast, because you can hear the tone, because that shit doesn't get translated through letters on a screen. So there's been a couple times where I've had to delete my shit because it's like, oh, that could come off as kind of a dick. So, but yeah, she goes on to say, I kind of feel bad for Bush, having spent most of this episode in a sewer holding Runt's pipe wrench, probably having mild PTSD, seeing as the last time one of his brothers went into a man-made concrete box, he got turned into Swiss cheese. I also imagine that Kieran has a not-so-secret kink for Latino dominatrix nuns. Maybe that's just me projecting. I don't know. I also enjoyed the idea of the children of Adam infiltrating the Minutemen, and this is in parentheses, possibly. Although I was curious if McDonough is aware that his 2 teams of men were all ghouls. It seems like the kind of seedy politician thing he'd do. Hell, given his anti-ghoul stance, I wouldn't be surprised if he offered them refuge into the city, only to sidestep that promise once the sewers were clear. I'm also sus as to why potential children of Adam want to recover a bunch of bodies. Enjoy the holidays, lads.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a long one. So,
yeah, we appreciate your comment.
So, to break this down in a proper way, let me pull it back up. So, Bush being down in the sewer kind of just, kind of just happened. He was gonna scout out, and I felt bad for him too, because he really didn't get to do much aside from just kind of kicking his legs in the sewage, just like that song, sitting on the dock of the bay.
Oh yeah, yep. That was one of the first songs I ever performed on stage. You know that?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
My live performance class, when I was still able to afford to go to community college, we went to this little music club over in Napa, California called Silos, and that was the first song I ever performed on stage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
I'd be shitting my pants. I ain't even gonna lie.
Oh, dude, I was so nervous.
I'm just
it was like a grip
of the bay.
No, after our set was finished, I got off stage and I had like 4 whiskey sours.
Oh, I believe it. I'd have those 4 before I got on stage, because I mean, I get hella nervous very easily, and I mean, to perform in front of a bunch of people, ooh man, I would have to make sure that I was loosened up. Because I'd fucking choke.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun though. I really enjoyed doing that class.
Shit, I ain't even gonna lie. I thought about doing some like online acting classes so that I could be better at D&D and be better at voice acting. But of course, talk myself out of it because it's just like, why do I want to pay for that? Granted, it'd help me, but I mean, I can kind of learn on my own. I won't be a grade A Hollywood actor, but at least somewhat decent. But the second part of your comment of, I also imagine that Kieran has a not so secret kink. Yeah, it's not secret. It's out there. The fact that you caught on to it is absolutely impressive.
I just love Latinas, Robbie.
Oh, those Latinas, I tell ya, always calling me Papi or Papacito. Well, they whip me and tell me to go to work. Oh, they're like, oh, you're a good lad, aren't ya? That's the comment that got the spit and shit on my. And then, so with the children of Adam infiltrating the Minutemen. Now, from that comment down, I can't really discuss that because it's a possibility that maybe they have infiltrated the Minutemen. It may just be a contained situation. It may be a whole litany of things. I don't want to ruin things for you. Take from that what you wish. But it's interesting to think of, because if the children of Adam did infiltrate the Minutemen, it would explain a lot. Because the Minutemen, if you remember in the lore, the Minutemen had that parting where, one side felt that it should be done a certain way, and then another side felt that shit should be done a completely different way. And then they had that infighting. What if that was brought about by the children of Adam? interesting fucking concept. Very
Yeah, because I
interesting.
didn't think the lore on that is kind of still kind of open, right?
It's ambiguous, I would say, as to, you know, how exactly. I'm sure it. So when I say that it, you know, it's ambiguous, I'm also kind of putting in a asterisk there because I never really dove into the true full on lore of the Minutemen.
Right.
So there may be a thing as to what brought the fighting about. It's very possible. But if there isn't, and it's kind of left ambiguous, was to, oh, it could have been a multitude of things. Maybe they were infiltrated. You know, obviously that's not what had happened, you know, in context of the children of Adam, but maybe it was the Institute that had synths that infiltrated and wanted to destroy the faction from within. It's possible. Again, the asterisks, but it's an interesting concept to think of, for damn sure. Now Mayor McDonough, he is aware that he did send 2 teams down, but they never returned. He is unaware that that they were all ghouls. So, you know, it's probably one of those things where he's probably not aware that there could be something down there turning people into ghouls. It probably most likely, well, I could actually ruin that. Yeah, he has no idea that his men were turned into ghouls, and he has no idea that there's something down there turning them into ghouls. He just believes that his men are
back yet.
Well, he also just believes that the men died, that something down there killed them. So, yeah, I mean, he's a seedy politician for sure, but let's say his men did come back and they were ghouls. Yeah, he'd totally, yes, no, you have no business here. Sorry. Thanks for helping us, but fuck you is what he would most likely do. Why would potential children of Adam want to recover a bunch of bodies? So, that's a good question. Now, the security guard that was leading the group said that, you know, he wanted his friends' bodies returned. Let's assume that he was the children of Adam. It wouldn't make much sense because it is kind of like, okay, why? But he's just Diamond City security. So he kind of, just wanted his brother's bodies back. We don't know.
Yeah, because he didn't come all the way with us to meet.
No, because he got pissed. All the way with us
to meet the guys.
Yeah, he got pissed about Axel. You know, that's really what he got mad about. He was just like, yeah, fuck you, you're a raider. I'm not doing business with you. And then everybody had your back, and he was just like, okay, fuck all of you then. So yeah, I mean it's one of those things where as it stands, he was just wanting his friends' bodies brought back so that they could be obviously buried or given some kind of final farewell for the families or whatever.
Yeah, and Axel is more than happy to do that for a nominal fee.
Yeah, exactly. 10 caps a corpse.
Hey, man, how much is your friend's spirit being laid to the rest really worth? If it's not worth at least 10 caps, I'd argue you're a bad friend.
You know. I mean,
that's the way that Axel would see it.
I don't care if it's a year's worth of salary. But
10 caps is a year's worth of salary?
Well, I mean, we don't know what these guys get paid. They could get paid 10 caps.
10 caps a year?
10 caps a year. I mean,
how much is a Nuka-Cola? Like 9 caps, 8 caps?
Oh, that depends on your charisma. If you have a high charisma, it's only like a few caps.
Oh, I see. So all Diamond City guards just don't have to pay for anything because they
Uh,
have like 50 charisma or whatever,
I have
and like,
fucking zero
and,
charisma. I memean, have you ever just kind of listened to what they say? They walk past you and
oh
talk
yeah,
shit. Out of my way,
yep.
scaver. Like, whoa, buddy. The fuck? But
Hey, scava, swing.
right? You want to get a SWAT over here? But yeah, no, those are interesting concepts. Again, I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, you're dead on the money, or no, it's not exactly, because I don't want to ruin the story if that is the case. Either way, I guess you'll just have to keep watching and find out what's going on.
Tune in next time.
Next time. Oh Jesus. I do have a question for y'all that are watching and have made it to the 2 hour mark. How would you guys feel about having just bullshit fucking commercials that are just jokes, kind of laid in between where we kind of take our breaks? And when we take our breaks, it's not a hard cut. It's kind of just like, oh, hey, here's commercials. Just funny
like
stuff.
a 60-second kind of interlude.
Yeah. How would you guys feel about that? Because we've been kind of tossing it around and we've joked about it a little bit, but what would you like? Because we're at the point where we can comfortably ask, and hopefully get some feedback. And if we don't, that's okay too. Just a bunch of happy little trees out there.
Just put in like a few things where it's like, sugar bombs contains 3 times your daily recommended value of sugar, like something like that.
Yeah, goofy shit, and sugar bombs, did you know that you could process it into jet? Well, now you do. Did you know
jet
that
is just vaporized Brahmin shit, right?
Ultrajet is they use sugar bombs. So
that's right.
Yeah. So then, did you know that the NCR actually outlawed all chems in their territories, but yet they didn't outlaw the chemicals or the products that create the chems, because all the products have a fucking use. So it's like, hey, you can't buy chems, but you can make them. Just don't get caught. Like that.
Well, I doubt they'd be able to outlaw Brahmin shit.
Well, there's Brahmin shit. There's sugar bombs.
Ranger, rip out that calf's lower intestine.
I'm feeling like I need some menudo. Everything has a purpose here. Oh man, I tell you, speaking of the NCR, Fallout Season 2. It's taking place in the Mojave. We'll say the Mojave / New Vegas. And I'm curious.
That's gonna be awesome.
I'm curious how they're gonna do it, because you're gonna, regardless of how good the series is or the season is, the fan base is gonna be split 100%.
Yeah.
You're gonna have people that think, hey, you know what? This was a great season. I can't wait for the next one if it sets it up for another one. Then you're going to have those people, well, I wish they wouldn't have done it in New Vegas because now they made things canon that aren't canon, and blah, 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 blah. And so right off the bat, and hopefully the people that are doing this know that, yeah, okay, so you're going to touch upon something that's going to split the fan base immediately. Hell, they're already split. I wish they wouldn't be going to New Vegas. I wish they'd be going somewhere else. Why not Oregon, or a place that doesn't have established lore, blah blah blah. And it's just like, I get it to an extent, because if you go to a place that has,
the thing is,
somewhat
those same
established,
people that are complaining, they're going to complain about, oh, they're making things canon that aren't canon in like, places that have already been in the Fallout universe. If they do it in a new place that hasn't been covered in the lore before, those same people are just gonna complain, oh, now they're just making up lore.
Yeah.
So you can't win.
Well, and yeah, but that base, that split is a lot smaller because then when you got the people that don't like established lore being touched, you can safely split that half in half. Because then you got the people that are just like, well, you're making up new lore that still follows, the Fallout lore. But then you got that other half that's just like, well, sure, it follows it, but it's not true to it. Like with the ghouls, the chemical or the chem that that the ghoul takes to basically stop or slow down the ghoulification process, the feral process. A lot of people were upset by that. A lot of people were curious about it because in the lore, I mean, when you're a ghoul, it's only a matter of time. Like it is literally only a matter of time. Some people turn feral sooner, others not so quickly, and the amount of radiation does play a part into it. And it just basically plays a part into how fast you're gonna, ghoulify, and if you'll become a glowing one or not. But even then, New Vegas had the glowing ghoul that wasn't feral. And I mean, then there's that, because obviously just because you're glowing doesn't mean that you're feral.
Right.
So it's one of those that it's like little shit, but some people were pretty upset because it's just like, oh, well, there's a chem that doesn't exist in the Fallout games that now exists. It's like, true, but I mean, the world's ever changing.
Gave the character a motivation.
Yeah. I mean, he has motivation to not ghoulify, and that's to find his kid, or to turn feral. It's to find his kid. But even, I mean, it's just like, Jesus Christ, there's part of the fan base that's never going to be happy, and that's a miserable fucking life. Like, like with the Star Wars movies, the Star Wars fucking fandom, that's a perfect example, because you got people that no matter how good something is, how true to the lore something is, they're just never happy.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I think Disney Star Wars saying that the expanded universe is non-canon, I think that was stupid, because then they just turned around and started using those stories and just switching out a few things. I thought that was pretty stupid, because it's just like, okay, so you guys wanted to say, well, we don't like these, but we like them enough to use them.
Right.
Like,
well, they just wanted a MacGuffin so that they could rewrite and retcon all the lore they didn't like.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I get it. If there's lore that you're not happy with, 100%, I get it. But to pretend like, oh, this is a completely original story. No, it's not. This is a completely original character. No, it's not. Like, they fucked up Thrawn. I'm sorry. They fucked him up. Thrawn was
I haven't watched like the last 3 Star Wars movies, I don't think. So I don't really have an opinion.
Last 3 Star Wars movies. In the main story, like the Skywalker story, or just the 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched those either. Thrawn was shown in the Mandalorian, I believe, and the Ahsoka series. And yeah, I'm not a fan of the Thrawn that they show. This guy in the books is an absolute tactical genius. So much so that Luke Skywalker believed that this guy was force sensitive, because of he was showing up in places before, Luke Skywalker, meet them there and to basically capture them. And he's like, there's no way this guy isn't a force sensitive. He is not. He's just that fucking smart. And oh man, I was so excited. But then you see this pudgy ass doughy fucker, and it's just like, not real happy. Not real happy there. Like this guy literally didn't make Grand Admiral because the Palpatine or the Darth Sidious just didn't like aliens. He was quite literally xenophobic and didn't want an alien as a Grand Admiral. And it's just like, that's the only thing that held this fucker back. But now I'm Grand Admiral Thrawn and blah, blah, blah. But Timothy Zahn, man, I tell you, he knew how to write a character. Oh, shit. But yeah, I'm excited for season 2. Hopefully it delivers. Fingers crossed. Saw the Squid Game season 2, did not deliver for me. I do like the Squid Games thing though. I think it's
I watched season 1. I don't think I'm gonna watch season 2 just based on what I'm seeing about it.
It's not terrible, but it definitely, there's some things that don't make much sense without ruining it. However, I do like the fact that we are being exposed to a completely different culture than our own, and I think that's a good thing, because you got these people that are, of course it's a trend, so they're doing the trendy, hey, this thing is hyped up, but there's people that aren't, doing trends, that are seeing this stuff, that are being exposed to it, like what is it, Dalgona, the thing that they had to cut apart in the perfect shape.
Oh, yeah.
I
think it's Dalgona.
Yeah, so we're getting exposed to that. We're getting exposed to some of the, the children's games that these people grew up playing, which are similar to ours, but different as well. I think that shit's cool. I think it's interesting that, two cultures that are separated by not only space, but just, influence, I guess you could say, have so many similarities in shit we did growing up. Like
For sure, man.
We had jacks. I didn't have jacks, but at one point we had jacks where you take the ball, you could either bounce it and try to grab, a jack or 2 or 3, and then catch the ball, or you'd throw the ball up and do the jacks. I can't remember which way it was. However,
I think it's a bounce.
Yeah, some shit. Some shit, which would make sense if it was a ball, you're bouncing the damn thing. In their thing, they have like dice that they throw one up and grab one, catch one, and then they just keep doing that, and then they do 2 at a time, then 3 at a time, then all of them. That's pretty cool. Hacky sack. We've had hacky sack. They got a game similar, but it's like a little pom-pom. Shit like that's pretty cool to see. And I think that's cool. I think I think getting exposed to different cultures, just simplistic games that they would play. 100%, I'm all for it.
Oh man. You just reminded me of some shit that we used to do in high school. There was a big hacky sack craze that went on in our school because we had this kid in my grade who used to make them.
Oh God!
And so he would make them for like $10 or something. He would make one, and people started doing like hacky sack duels, I guess you would call it, and they would bet their hacky sacks, like who could keep theirs up the longest, And then there was this one kid who had bogarted like 30 of them by the end of the year.
Yeah,
so it got to a point where they actually had to make a rule saying, like the administration to make a rule saying you can't bring your hacky sacks to school because every kid was like playing with their hacky sacks on break.
Yeah.
And like teachers were like getting hit by strays, like getting hit in the face with like stray hacky sacks in the hallways and shit.
Just get beamed out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No, we
I
had
got pretty
the
good at doing hacky sack,
we had
which
the
is
hacky sack
amazing because I'm
craze.
super uncoordinated.
Yeah, we had the hacky sack craze when I was in school, and yeah, it was. I'm gonna be honest, I was not a fan of it because it's just to me it was
No?
goofy. Huh?
Mm. I don't know. I thought it was something fun to do with. I mean, I guess it was just kind of the hype behind it in my school was kind of what made it fun, like that the duels and shit and people collecting them. I
Yeah,
got like 3 or 4, I think.
yeah.
I wasn't too great, but I got pretty good with it.
I was too busy failing at talking to girls, so I mean, I didn't have time to fucking play with a fucking sack on my foot. And then when I did have time to play with a sack, it was my own. So you know, but yeah, fucking yeah. No, I remember that craze. It was huge, and yeah, we had a couple people that made hacky sacks, and it would I don't know if it was duels or whatnot, but they would basically have a competition as to who could keep it going the longest, and yeah, if you lost, you would lose your hacky sack. Then it got to the point where they would try to do tricks while keeping the hacky sack. And that's when the administration kind of stepped in because one kid damn near broke his fucking neck trying to do a front flip while doing the hacky sack bullshit. Damn near broke his fucking neck. And yeah, they were like, yeah, no more hacky sacks. And then, of course, you know, that died out, but it was the stoners that had the hacky sacks. They were just like, oh man, look at this. And yeah, by that time, I mean, I had moved and gone to a different school. But yeah, I was too busy trying to fail with the chicks. So
He was a hacky sack player, red like Rasta.
what the fuck?
Fucking Buffalo Soldier, but hacky sacks.
Oh god. What was another one? God, I remember when yo-yos became the big fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that as much.
I had a yo-yo, but it was not like everybody else's. It was very much just a yo-yo. It wasn't like, oh, hey,
like
look
crappy
at
plastic.
Yeah, it was like, look at my competition yo-yo. Like that was a fucking thing. Competitive yo-yo. Yeah. Look, I'm cradling the baby. I'm walking the dog.
Look, I'm doing a DNA.
Look, around the world. Like what the fuck? And that's oh god, that's that I could tolerate. But no, I remember we had that talent show and like 6 fucking people did just yo-yo tricks. Look how cool I am.
Oh god.
Like, all right. Yeah. And what was worse was one of them beat the dude that fucking did a drum solo. Like he came up with his own drum solo. And fucking he got beat out by some cocksucker with a fucking yo-yo. Like, all right.
Yo-yo kid number 10.
Right? Like, all right, I'm good. Because that kid fucking killed it on the drums. And holy shit. But nope. Fuck him. Who cares? This kid with the yo-yo, he's the next best thing. He's probably sitting at home drinking his ass off, going, yeah, I peaked in fucking high school, man. I was the yo-yo king. Holy shit. But yeah, no, fucking flat out. That blew my mind. Blew my mind. That yo-yo was a fucking thing. And what was it? Fuck, what the fuck? The glass ball.
Fushigi?
Yes. That bullshit. Look how cool it is. It's like I'm not even trying. Who the fuck cares? I remember that kid was so proud of his fucking, what's it called?
Fushigi.
Fushigi? Yeah, he was so proud of his Fushigi, and then when it broke, because he dropped it, and yeah, that shit shattered. Ooh, man. Boy, was that kid dead inside.
You know what's funny about the Fushigi balls is I remember the whole thing about it was it looked like it wasn't moving.
Yeah.
But it was just because they were like polished metal balls or polished glass balls or whatever.
I was about to say, these were glass.
You had to make sure. Yeah, like you had to make sure your hands were super clean because you got one smudge on it, and then there goes the illusion.
Yep. Yep. And if you drop it once, that's it. That fucker
Yep.
shatters. And don't even try to pick it up and put it back together. You're slicing yourself. Oh, those shards of glass, man. Fucking razor sharp.
Yeah, it's like the fucking. It's like exploding a fucking Prince Rupert's drop.
Right? I'm trying to snort that
you seen
motherfucker
those-
like Coke.
That reminds me, I got to send you another one of those fucking Suno songs I wrote.
Oh God. But yeah, no, that shit's wild. Hacky sacks, fushigis, and
Fushigis?
yeah, what is it called?
Fushigi.
That's what I fucking
No,
said.
you said it's Fushigi. You said Fushigi.
I am hearing literally no fucking difference.
It's the fucking I. You're supposed to say like E, but you're saying it I.
Oh, fushigi. Fushigi. Whatever. A fucking glad.
You misgendered my Fushigi.
Fucking Satan's orb, we'll call it that.
Prince Rupert's nut.
Oh God. But yeah, no, fucking, oh my God. What was another craze? Oh, well, let's see. It was branding yourself.
What?
Yeah, dude. So in high school, it went around very briefly, but it went
In
around.
high school? I thought that was like a college fraternity thing.
No. So these kids, man, they'd fucking take, like paper clip, heat it up or shape it. And then because it was the nautical star, that was the big craze, was having nautical stars on yourself. And yeah, they'd shape it into like whatever shape they wanted, and they'd heat up the metal with a lighter and then stick it to themselves and give themselves.
That had to take a long time to heat it up with a lighter.
Well, paper clips paper clips retain heat pretty well, but I mean they're pieces of or they don't retain heat very well, but they can get hot enough to fucking turn red on you. So yeah, they would do it.
You just reminded me of something. Because you said burn yourself.
Yeah, so
sorry, finish what you were saying.
So they do it with paper clips. So then I guess they got tired of the paper clips, so they take the little lighters that you get from like the fucking liquor store. They're like $1, and if they have the certain shape, it'd look like a smiley face. If you heated up the the stone itself and part of the metal that protects the fucking flame. Yeah, you heat that up and you stick it on yourself. Yeah, you get a little goofy ass smiley face that once it's healed, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of wild shit. And then the fucking piercings too. God, you ain't lived till you seen a motherfucker pierce his own lip in school. Oh man.
Oh my God.
Used a sharpened pencil to do that. That was fucking jarring.
Fucking lead poisoning.
Yeah, fucking.
Well, I mean,
something.
I guess it's mostly graphite. It's not actually lead. But...
Well, I'm not that old. Fuck. Do you ever find yourself licking the lead paint off your walls? Oh, yes, I do. But no, I mean, like this kid fucking sharpened this pencil. And I guess he was trying to impress this chick he was with. He goes, babe, watch this. And fucking just jams it through his bottom lip. And holy fuck. God. Oh man, it was bad.
Did he scream?
No, it didn't make a fucking peep. No. And you could hear the pencil tip break. But then it's just like, ooh. So yeah, and then he put a rubber washer or something in the hole to make it like circular, and you could see this guy's fucking gum line and teeth. I was like, ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, he used to
He
try to
probably has
do.
like a little nub of graphite still in his lip to this day.
Oh, who the fuck knows? But yeah, he used to spit through it, try to do trick like, hey, watch this.
Ugh.
He'd have his mouth closed and stick a straw through it so he could drink. It's just like all that just to do fucking parlor tricks. All that.
Fucking Steve-O Light over here.
Right? God. I remember when Jackass became big and they fucking everybody wanted to be doing Jackass stuff, and it's just like, yeah, have fun with
Yep.
that.
No, but when you were talking about like those kids burning themselves with paper clips, you remind me about this shit we used to do in high school. We called it 20 animals. So what someone would do is they would get one of those like weird trapezoid looking erasers that go on the back of your pencil. You know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue. Oh, is it the ones
Just
that
like
you put on top of the pencil and it's just kind of like yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we would take one of those and then they would hold it in like between their thumb and their forefinger, and they'd have you put your hand flat on a table and they'd rub it super fast on the back of your palm to like wear off the skin and make an eraser burn. And you would have to name 20 animals as fast as you could.
Oh, yeah,
or else they wouldn't stop.
No,
we had this kid who couldn't, he got to like 18 and then he couldn't name two more, and the chick that was doing it like kept going and wore his fucking wore it down to the fucking tendon. Like, you know, the tendons in your hands to connect to your fingers, the back of your palms. Yeah. So the kid had to go to the hospital and get like skin grafts and shit.
Yep. No,
on his fucking, on the back of his hand.
We didn't do 20 animals. It was just like, basically you would try to go as long as you could before, you know, tapping out. And there was that, and of course, you know, fucking yeah, that was yeah, I had one of those. It was on the forearm though. That one sucked to heal. And
I still have like the faint remnants of a scar on the back of my right hand that I have from doing 20 animals back in like my sophomore year of high school.
Oh, and then we changed it up, went to sandpaper, and it was basically,
oh god,
yeah, fucking basically how long, because it was like a competition. You had a piece of sandpaper, and you know, two people had sandpaper, and you'd sit there, and whoever bitched out first lost. And yeah, dude, so I had one of those. Of course, kids, I got fucking screamed at for that one, because I mean, you can say like, oh, I cut my arm at school by accident with, you know, the eraser thing, but sandpaper is very distinctive. Like we all know what a sandpaper burn looks like. Like it is very distinctive. So yeah, I got my ass chewed out for that one.
The skin, yeah.
Yeah, and it's never like in a line where like, oh shit, I cut myself, or oh, I scraped up against something. I mean, you got a bunch of just dots on, you know, around this wound. But yeah, that was a fucking thing. Good Lord. How we were fucking
we just
stupid.
like as kids, we just had like no concern for our safety or well-being.
Yeah.
And now we're adults and we're pussies.
Oh, Jesus, speak for yourself. Go outside.
Well, you still you still gonna do sandpaper burns?
Fuck no. Not because I'm a pussy. It's just they won't heal as quickly as it did last time.
Yeah, like when you're in high school and middle school, like you could fucking, you know, you could break your fucking femur and be fine in like 3 weeks.
God. I fractured my femur. You know, that shit took months.
Yeah, I've heard that's one of the worst pains.
A fracture? Yeah, that shit sucks.
No. A fractured femur specifically.
Oh, yeah, no. I only have the experience of the fractured femur. That shit sucked. Because I tore all the tendons in my leg, damaged the meniscus, and fractured my fucking femur. Yeah, that was a fun fucking 9th grade year. That shit sucked.
I've broken I mean, if you consider toes and fingers like broken bones, I've pretty much broken all my fingers and toes multiple times.
Man, I don't know. I've busted the pinky toe quite a few times, and I don't know if I would consider that because that motherfucker hurts. That motherfucker hurts
well,
like
one of my fingers is super mangled. One of my fingers is super fucking mangled and like
is that the shit
fatter
finger?
than all the others?
Is that the finger you go
No,
scooping?
it's
is that the booty scoop?
go scooping. That's disgusting. No, I like caught a football wrong and it fucking broke my finger in like 3 different places.
Oh, that's the same
Like
thing that
happened
happened to my leg. Fucking, I caught a football wrong, and by football I mean somebody chop blocked me from the side.
Yeah, same thing, pretty much, right?
Pretty much is a football injury. But on that note, though, oh shit. On that note, I have to start getting ready for work and being a functioning an adult. As I don't say adult properly, I say an adult.
All right. Should I give my music recommendation for this week and then we can end it?
Of course.
All right, perfect. So, my music recommendation for this week, if I can find the actual name of it, is Churches by Flip Turn. So go ahead and check that out.
Definitely go check that out. I will not check it out. Probably not my style of music. But yeah, definitely check it out. Because
all right, everybody,
have some music in your life. All right, you cocksuckers, get have a good day and enjoy the rest of it. Till the next time.
Bye, y'all.
Master B.A.T.R. cast. Bass on the left and slacker on the right. 2 idiots who masturbate all night, talking about nothing at all, just throwing shit at